Here we go. That's the next one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Penguin Academy game analysis. We are in the 2026 Winter Super League. And we have Franki129, just Frankie, and he has Old World Alliance. And I laughed because I've just realized that MrPage has also brought Old World Alliance, an Old World Alliance mirror. Get used to this, because in third season, this will happen a lot more often. So I know you've put it in quotes, PC, but I still am questioning whether or not we have the same definition of that phrase. Oh, yeah, that is not what that means. Please tell me you haven't used... yeah, yeah. What do you mean Americans? That's an everyone thing. I feel like you may have... Maybe don't use that. I get the euphemism for the other thing, but that is definitely it's definitely an everyone thing these days. What is going on here? That's a pretty interesting dwarf. Looks like he forgot to bring his kit. You know, like when you're in school and you don't bring your gym kit and they make you like train in your pants. For Americans, that's underwear, not trousers. I don't know if they did that in America, to be honest. That's might be a uniquely British thing. We used to have gym kit. If you didn't bring your gym shorts, they'd make you like, do PE in your pants. '80s PC. I'm not as old as you. Right, so we have. I mean, we knew that was Page, right? Because Page gets all the free warp stone from his friends at Cyanide. That's the reward you get for getting your entire community to leave fake reviews. Let's have a look at the two teams. So we've gone Tree versus Ogre, which I actually think is a nice change between the two teams. I think the Ogre is still even better probably in the new rules. But at least the tree isn't as bad in the new third season rules. I don't like the tree on Old World Alliance. I think the problem with the tree is the massive amount of variance of rolling a 1 on turn 1 of your drive. Like immediately, right? Just roll the first dice. First time you try to do anything with the tree, take a block, move him, and he rolls a 1, and your team is just absolutely like hamstrung 1 in 6 times every time you try to play. Whereas the Ogre can still move next turn. I hate it. I hate that that's a thing. And as a as a big halfling player, I'm aware of how important that is. So I like the ogre instead of the tree. That is a more interesting thing. I'm not certain what the setup's going on here. I don't know why there is someone here, but we'll find that out in a minute. Mostly guard everywhere, which is correct. We've got 2 naked guard linos, so I guess they had a very generous package in this Super League, because that's 2 secondary skills there. They also get a stack, and they've both used it on Mighty Blow Tackle, which is correct, even though in this mirror it's meaningless. We've got the Blodge Catcher, and have we got a catcher? Yeah, we got a Blodge Catcher. And then we've got guard, 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 guard. And we've got guard on the Slayer each. So what's the... Oh, we've used the secondary on the ogre for the block. Okay. I like this. I like that they're slightly different as teams. We'll see how that plays out. I just realized I don't know a lot about Frankie. I don't even know where he qualified from. Let me have a quick look. He was in the Summer Super League. He did well in the Summer Super League, apparently. He was in the top positions of the Summer Super League, so filled out the league via that. Let me go back, sorry, before he moved this solid defense. Right, what is the point of this guy? Just so he can hit him? I don't like that at all. I would probably just blitz him, right? You're not going to blitz any of these. So you just put someone there, you blitz him, and then you can move him. I wouldn't even have anyone on the tree. Force the tree to roll dice to even, like, come into contact with you. Because this guy's going to have to dodge, right? He's not going to do anything. He's not going to stand there and eat a tree block. So what's the point? If anything, just go for the tree. Stick the Slayer in. Like, block and follow, and then, like, go for the tree. But don't just stick a guard on the tree and then dodge him, kill yourself. As far as Page goes, it's basically just rule of 5 in it. It's sort of a rule of 5 corners mix, which is fine. It doesn't matter. It's boring, but it's fine. You don't have the speed to make use of a blitz. So, sure, defend yourself. The solid D now screws the blitzer. Okay, I guess he's the blitz now. So he gets to 3 dice. He's the blitz, and then we dodge. Well, we dodge the human first, because he can take a punch. Page is not thought ahead. These two should be the other way around. So this is one of those things, right? It's kind of levels of playing. Like, it's... God, I hate comparing Blood Bowl to chess in any way. But it is the same thing, right? It's how many moves ahead you can think in chess is basically how good you are. And thinking ahead here, right? Think ahead to what your opponent's going to do. He's going to... like, if your opponent is any good, he's going to dodge these two, right? He's not staying there. And he's going to dodge this one first because he's the one without block on Mighty Blow, and he's the one with armor 10 and thick skull. So he's the dodge first. He's not going to re-roll that dodge. So the likelihood is if you're going to get a block, it's going to be him. So these two should be the other way around, because the block should be this way. So if you get pushes, you push him into the tree so that the tree can Mighty Blow him. So you don't want to take a blockless block here. So just, if you'd had a little bit of, like, you know, thinking, instead of spending probably the full 2 minutes of your solid defense talking to your chat and then like moving players afterwards. If you'd thought about the game in any way, these two would be the other way around, just from that little bit of foresight. That would be a lot more interesting of a point, and like, you know, if more people did that, because more people gave that level of thought to Blood Bowl because there was some reason to. We've talked about this recently a lot. I'm kind of down on Blood Bowl at the moment because there's no real reason for anyone to put, like, I'm giving a dig at him, right? Because he didn't do it, but hardly anyone does. Because what's the point? Like that tiny little sliver of bringing back tiny little sliver of equity you gain from, like, you know, that foresight, not worth it in the long run, because there's nothing, you know, there's no glory, there's no money. And it's making me sad at the moment that not a lot of people are giving a shit to be that good. And as we look around, like, you know, the world in general, it's not just in my little area of Blood Bowl. It's not just in Blood Bowl 3 and Ladder. It's everywhere. Like, we got the French national team, like, just deciding to put a cheating star in charge of their team. We got the English team, like, just essentially prioritizing, you know, mall ninja levels of power over actually being good at Blood Bowl. Just trying to take over the little corner of Blood Bowl that they want and not giving a shit about the best team or the best help they can get. And these are the national teams. Like, no one cares, really. And I'm sorry that that's a bit of a downer in the middle of a game. But, like, that, in case you hear that I'm not as excited or not as up about Blood Bowl in these, like, future commentaries, I'm trying to get back into it. But that's where I currently am in my thinking process. You know, it's just a bit sad that people just aren't, there isn't the motivation. Like, it's not, I'm not even blaming them. There's no reason to, other than self-motivation, which is someone with ADHD, which basically means you have no self-motivation. I fully understand that, like, what's the point in putting in those extra hours, putting in extra thought when no one really cares? So I'm, you know, I'm teaching people to be better at a game when no one cares if you're better at a game. What, just to finish my thought, because otherwise my ADHD brain will just stick to it, and I'm going to stick it in the middle of a VOD so that most people don't hear it and doesn't cause problems. I watched the most recent Blood Bowl video from Bonehead podcast yesterday because it popped up on my algorithm. I was like, what? This is a weird, like, clickbaity title for Bonehead. The truth about, like, War third season or something like that. And I watched it, and I swear to God, 17 minutes of nothing. And it had like 15,000 views. Literally said nothing for 17 minutes. No one cared. So few people cared that he was saying nothing. The first, there's three sections to the video, about 5 minutes each. The first 5 minutes was him saying that third season is better than second season. And I don't mean he was telling you why. There were zero reasons why third season is better than second season. He just said it was, repeatedly, for 5 straight minutes. Nobody cares. I don't think he knew why, though, QLZ. I'm starting to, like, buy into the fact that, like, it is, like, a bit of a grift. I used to be like, maybe he just doesn't realize he doesn't know anything about Blood Bowl. People are like not very self-aware in general, right? But I'm starting to buy into the fact that it seems to be a bit of a grift. Like, there's no way you don't know that you haven't said anything for 5 minutes. That you've given no reasons whatsoever for the thing that you're saying. Like, that you can't not know that. But it's working grift, because like I said, 15,000 views that video had, and it's meaningless. Safe moves at some point later. I am like I do have to keep pointing this out because I do get the odd question about it. I have not watched any of these games live. It is actually annoying. It means I don't get to watch Jim's channel because Jim is doing these games and I don't want to spoil myself on the games. I was spoiled on the Bright thing because, it's a conversational point rather than game related stuff. But I don't get to watch any of these games, so it does always amuse me that the things I talk about then happen. Like, look, there we go, perfect example. Like, you didn't let anyone like on the tree for him to do anything, and it's tried to move, it's rolled a 1, and now it's not in his team anymore. Now he just doesn't have a tree. Bright's Russian internet is fucking him up. He lost his game because he disconnected repeatedly. Yes, and yeah, he dodged the first one and then the second one. So if he'd have failed that dodge, like, he would have got blocked, and he would have got blocked by incorrectly because that was the only guy with block in the middle, so he can only block forward, so you don't get any follow-up blocks. So the alternative to that is you have to block without block. Like, any kind of thought. Like I said, it's hard, right? Because it's not even Page's fault at this point. Like, all the stick I've given Page, Blood Bowl related, not personally related. That's for a different reason. Like, it's not even a problem anymore, is it? Page makes enough money just doing this. All right, enjoy your smoke and pipe laying. So that's a bad blitz, isn't it? Because this guy is based. So if that's a dub skulls into a loner fail, this guy is based on block and he doesn't have block, and then there's a direct route to the ball. So that's a bad blitz. It's not a bad blitz choice. It's a bad blitz time. If we go, like, you can look at it, right? Look at what happens here if he rolls a dubs. There's an auger down, right? Imagine that's a dubs. There's an auger down in this square. This guy gets a pow. Even it doesn't even need a pow. Does a double down will work? We've got guards to go in there and here, and then someone runs round and blitzes the ball. Like, it's 2 dice on the ball if this is a dubs. It's not protected because the only screen is a blockless dwarf that's already based. So this is a bad blitz order. And again, it just, like, I would never make this mistake. I mean, never's rough, right? I'm sure I have made this mistake 1 in 1,000 times or something. But like Jim would never make this mistake. Davo would never make this mistake. Anyone at the top level of play, just like this is too basic an error. So, now I got to know that I already know Page is nowhere close to top level player. So I'm judging them on completely different standards. Like I said, I didn't know much about Frankie, but it doesn't take long like this to find out that they're not. All of this could have been done before that blitz, right? Every single thing that he's done here required nothing to do with this over here. All could have been done already. All of this could have been moved already. Then he takes the blitz, and it doesn't matter if you roll a dub skulls. Like, that's the difference right there. Like, you can just do all of this. It's fine. And it should be automatic. If that's not the automatic start of your turn, you force yourself to do it until it is automatic. That is almost 90% of my like coaching to people, is like forcing a rigid turn ordering schedule on them. I'm a massive fan of giving up the mighty blow tackle to get mighty blow tackled here. I mean, I don't know why the tackle doesn't matter, but you know what I mean. Giving up your mighty blow to get hit by their mighty blow for no reason at all sucks. The Page will, yeah. Just so that's unlucky, but you heard me, right? I tried to get it out before it happened, but because in real life I would have had time, like it, because he would have pretended he was thinking about it, but would have like re-rolled 1,000,000% every time. Page is absolutely going to greed anything to do with Mighty Blow. He is just a total banger. And I'm not even saying it's the wrong decision. It's not objectively wrong there, but it's just funny that I knew exactly what was about to happen. And then, of course, he re-rolled into dub skulls. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the Arena Cup, and my opponent did that, by the way, and lost him the game. I won my Arena Cup because he did that. It is, yeah, but once you get the pushes, it's so early in the drive, like that you have to realize how little chance that is of actually doing anything. Like, let me tell you the actual chances. So that reroll chance of doing anything is the same as the no reroll. Like, it's just one block. So you have 2 successes, so you've got a 55% chance of knockdown. You've only got a 23% chance of armor break. And you've got a 12% chance of removing him. You're burning a reroll on a 12% chance of removing that mighty blow. Like, just not worth it on turn 3. It's just people overestimating the positive outcome. Because even a stun is not worth a reroll. What? Is that not... Okay, we stay in there to do that instead. Gets the push. Oh my days. He loner rerolled it to get the surf. And he gets a Kaz for it. Incredible. But now he's down to one reroll. Oh, no, one dice pow. See, if he had 3 rerolls, that reroll was completely acceptable. But because he only had 2 rerolls, because he greeded here, that reroll is dubious, right? Suddenly it becomes a problem. Now you're down to 1 reroll on turn 3. What? What? Did we just do a dodge blitz with the ball just there? Okay. Hello, Wintergreen. Yeah, that's not the play, is it? That is definitely not the play. Oh, God, now he's doing a rush. Woo! And another one. What is happening? Oh, he's going to give the ball to the catcher. That was not a good turn. Nothing wrong with the transfer, by the way. But you didn't need to do all of that for it. Oh, look at that dwarf on a tree. Is that a rush? No, it's not. And again, from Frankie, no forward thinking. There's no reason for that guy to be on the outside of the screen. These two could have been swapped. Hey, look, it's a 1 dice pow. Oh, I thought he was going to be the blitz, but he's going to blitz off the floor. No, he's going to take the extra block. He's not going to score, is he? What the... These 1 in 9 dodges into getting sacked are atrocious.
Thanks for all the excellent content, buddy. It's your commentary that makes BB3 better than it is.
Oh, thank you very much, Wintergreen. I always appreciate the support. It's what drags me through having to talk about just people not being very good at Blood Bowl. Like, it's a problem, isn't it? Like, I don't, genuinely, I'm just like struggling regularly to just know what to do, talk about it. It's not like I get tongue tied when I'm talking about this because it annoys me. Because I'm giving time to people that I don't want to give time to. I am very aware that I have this not true but not untrue reputation of just being negative, right? But the problem is most of the people who bring it up are doing it for selfish purposes. The whole like Artemis thinks everyone is bad crowd. If you go and find the people on Discords and things who say that, they're all people I've called bad. It's just their excuse. Like, they're not arguing that they're not bad, but they're trying to dilute the fact that they were bad by claiming that I think everyone's bad, which is just blatantly not true, right? I regularly talk about like the top players and good plays and stuff. It's just not as often as bad plays because there's more bad players than there are good. That's the case in everything in the world. It's just most other things, the same person doesn't end up commentating on the World Cup level matches and the Sunday League level matches. In a small area of things like this, like video games or whatever, the same people do. You end up having to commentate on people who are leagues worse. Like, if the chess commentators who regularly cover, like, Magnus Carlsen also had to commentate on like your nan playing chess, then they would probably get like a reputation of being negative. There aren't enough like K-Fool versus Diomed games for me to fill my time. There aren't enough K-Fools and Diomeds in the world to fill a league. I've said before, like active Blood Bowl players right now, you would struggle to fill a 32-man tournament of top level active players. You could fill a 64-man tournament just about if you included like good second tier players. Like the good second tier players, not just second tier players, the good ones. And they don't all play in the same places. They don't all play in the same tournaments. They don't even all play on the same clients. I'm including in those numbers people who only play on Fumble. If you want to drag in Malmir and FX, Nama plays on tabletop, so I guess like, some of those players from Fumble are very good, either upper second tier or top tier players, but they don't play on Blood Bowl 3. Some of them don't even play on tabletop anymore. They just play on Fumble. So you can't get them in these things because there's no point. There's no money in it for them. They just prefer playing where they play. So they're out, but they have to be included in the numbers. And when I'm down, like I am right now on Blood Bowl, I talk about it a lot more. And it bothers me sometimes. The stun is really nice. The stun probably just bought him the drive. Should do another one. Yeah. That turn just probably bought him the drive. That's probably a turn 8 score now. I'm going to use these kind of boring games to talk about just more general things for Blood Bowl. Because I just had a conversation with someone on the Blood Bowl subreddit. So it's turn 4, right? Well, turn 5, sorry. And I've just said that's probably a turn 8 score now. And yeah, you could obviously point out the whole like comedy Elliot thing. It's not over, etc. And it's technically true. It's Blood Bowl. It's never over. Quad skulls can happen. Mistakes can be made. Yada, yada, yada. But in general, this should be a turn 8 score now. The stun, the tag on that player in the middle, just the board state. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because the conversation I had on the subreddit was about people conceding. And, people get gut feelings really early on. It's not always right. But you take a couple of Kaz on turn 1, you try to do something on turn 2, that goes wrong. Turn 3, you take a KO. Your brain is like, this game's over. Like, it's a draw at best, and I'm just starting the run or whatever. I might as well just start again. And you want to concede, and so people just concede. Or they just don't want to play a game for a draw. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a very interesting game to play, is it? It's not exciting or anything. So if you know that the best result you're going to get is a draw, that immediately sets off, oh my God, I'm bored. And like everyone has that. Well, most people have that. And some people will just play, right? They'll just play anything. They're there for the beauty of the game. But that's not the majority of people, as you can tell by the concede rate. And of course, the subreddit, like, dunked on this guy for saying he's getting banned for conceding. Why does he have to play these games? It's the glory of the game. It's a 2-person contract. You're conning the other person out of a game. And none of that holds up to scrutiny. Like, in the real world, all the complaints about being conceded on are about losing progression. That's why you go to the Blood Bowl 3 Discord and find people complaining about concedes in Arena. They don't exist. Because they're not losing anything. The actual complaint that comes up has fuck all to do with a social contract or finishing a game out or the thing that comes up the most, and I can't believe that it's real, right? I get that it's probably happened to someone and they're using it as an argument, but I don't believe that it's real. The most common counter is, well, I've only got an hour in between my thing to play a game, and now I don't have time to play another game. It's like, you just played a game, though. You won it. What are you talking about? You played a game of Blood Bowl. I'm sorry it was 4 turns, but you played a game of Blood Bowl and you won. Now you have, like, half an hour to go do something else. And you still won a game of Blood Bowl. Like, no one likes Blood Bowl that much, surely. That they really desperately wanted to fill their hour with Blood Bowl, and especially bad Blood Bowl, because that's what they're filling it with, right? If that guy wants to concede, he's miserable. He's not going to be playing properly. He doesn't want to be in the game. So what do you think you're missing out on? What glorious game are you missing out on? Playing against someone else who's completely miserable, doesn't want to be in the game with you, is just like, going through the motions. There's no social interaction because there's no chat on Blood Bowl 3. What the fuck are you missing out on? Like, what are you talking about? Just leave. Just let the guy leave. The complaint you have is with Cyanide. That you don't get your touchdown. That you don't get your progression. That's the person you should be complaining to. Not about the guy who conceded. Go complain to the right people about the right thing. Another loner reroll. And now, look. And now, Page is on 0 rerolls. It's only turn 5. The ball has made it through. This is a turn 8 score, right? He doesn't even have any rerolls to do any kind of clever play or anything. He's brought a tree, which has been useless. It's everything that we've said that could have gone wrong has in fact gone wrong, and Page is being scored on turn 8. Move this guy. Move this guy first. Hey, Brawler bought him a pow. Okay, luckily none of those were stuns, so it keeps the turn 8 score on the board. Yeah, if anything, it's faster, right? You can get another one in. But like, I get the idea, but it's conceptual, isn't it? It's theoretical. It's in the same bag of complaints as the 200 game dwarf team that rolled all random guard. Like it's just something that could be a problem, but actually in real life isn't. How many people are logging into Blood Bowl? They have specifically 1 hour, which, by the way, you shouldn't do anyway, right? Because the other person could be really slow. Then what are you going to do? You going to concede? I bet that won't be a problem, right? If you've only got an hour to play and your opponent is very slow, that suddenly you have to concede, that's probably completely okay. Or do you really not have an hour and this is a made-up example? Yeah, I would say 90 minutes. If you don't have an hour and a half, you probably shouldn't start a game. Because on top of a slow player, you could have extra turns. You don't know who you're going to spin into. It could be someone who... vampires. It could be vampires, right? And you get extra turns or blitzes, and they take their entire 2 minutes. Oh, that was an absolutely disastrous turn for Page. That could be the loss. Never mind, like a turn 8 score. Yeah, spin times. Exactly, Snacks, yeah. If you spin into vampires and they quick score or they turn you over, there's more setups. If you spin into rats, timeouts can happen, blitzes can happen, solid defenses can happen. I understand the point of having concede rules. The problem if you don't have concede rules is how quickly and how often people will concede in a format where it matters. Where we're giving free wins to people matters. But the way to get people to not concede that much is to have the rules of the game in place. So there's reasons to play your game so that your results matter. Like one of the things contributing to the high concede rate is that your win-loss doesn't matter at all. I concede all the time. I didn't do that on Blood Bowl 2 because I followed my win rate because there were bots in place. Like I wanted to be the best player, and one of the ways to measure the best player was on rankings of win rates for different teams and overall and stuff. I was keeping track of my win-loss. There's nothing like that in Blood Bowl 3. Who cares? I've conceded more in Blood Bowl 3 in the last 2 years than I did in Blood Bowl 2 in 5. There we go. No one turn for Page. To be clear, it wasn't in the game. It was third-party support that was doing those win rates. And that's not really in Blood Bowl 3. The API doesn't work very well. There's no bots like EAB. And there's no web pages as good as the old Spike. There's the current Spike, but it's not great. It's better than nothing. I appreciate that they're doing it, but it's not as useful for keeping track of things like that. And without a bot like EAB to keep track of top 10s and stuff like that, it's not even... No one cares. I've knocked like 3% off my win rate in the last like 6 months by just constantly conceding, because it takes into account arena too. I concede like all the time in arena. I think Dion checked my arena games, and like my arena games had like a 70% concede rate between me and my opponents. Oh, I forgot that he killed the Slayer. Okay, never mind. This wasn't the loss. I forgot that he killed the Slayer. He'd already lost his own guard. So this could still be an easy draw for Page. I might be rounding up. It was definitely 60-something. It's probably more than that now because I've got even worse at it. Yeah. Hang on. My current overall win rate is down to 71 point something percent, which is like 75%. Like I've dropped 3 or 4% by just constant concedes, because there's just nothing to care about in Blood Bowl 3. Why should I play a game that doesn't matter? My results don't matter. Absolutely useless. And this is from someone who that's mostly what I cared about in Blood Bowl 2. Once I got good enough, there was the only real way to like track things was try to be, the best this player, the best that player. I care so little now that I'm knocking percentages off my own win rate. Probably, yeah, Evan. If it's 1-1 and I concede, it shows up as 3-0. Because you get my touchdown and then you're also given a touchdown. So Frankie hasn't had to field the halfling. So no matter what happens here, he gets the 1-turn attempt. So at the moment, the game favors Frankie, right? Because Page has failed his 1-turn. So even if he scores on turn 8, Frankie still gets the chance of a 1-turn added to his 50-50 chance, of like, so at the moment, it's probably, I don't know, 60-40 a Frankie win. Why is he hanging his Mighty Blow tackle out? Oh, okay. Then you probably just won. Or I conceded at 1-0. I regularly concede at 1-0 because it means I can only get a draw. And I'm not interested, if it's arena especially, I'm not interested in a draw. If it's an early start in a ladder game, I'm not interested in a draw. I will just concede and start again. So Page is heavily pushing forward here. It seems like he's going for the win. Should have moved players first, especially as he was doing a rush. Don't know what's this guy doing. Not necessarily, Evan. It doesn't have to be a dice in. If it was just a normal game and, you scored on turn 8 and I didn't have a 1-turn in team, I would have conceded immediately. What is happening here? What is happening here? Oh, he was trying to surf with a... He was trying to surf with a loner 1 dice. Holy bejesus. So what if that's a skull? So if that's a skull, isn't that just a sack on the ball? Like this guard stands up and he just comes in here and sacks the ball, right? Christ. He steps in there and he gets surfed. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Very annoyed that all of that was happening before we did other stuff again. This is what I mean, right? It's one of the things, like, these guys, like, both Frankie and MrPage are probably 60%ers, right? Which means they win a lot more than they lose, because most people are real bad at Blood Bowl. But in this kind of company, in Super League or whatever, they're going to be like 40-30%ers or something. If they were only playing against this caliber of player. And one of the main reasons is that there are like, different parts of playing Blood Bowl. But one of the core things that separates the best from the medium is just turn ordering, just straight up turn ordering. If you can't force yourself to move like safe moves first, to move players that don't matter first, and then to take blocks in the correct order, if you can't force yourself to do that, you'll never be good at Blood Bowl. Like, just never. Like, I get it, right? The adrenaline. I'm sorry to laugh, like, it's adrenaline in Blood Bowl, but you know what I mean. Like, oh my god, I get to surf. Oh my god, I get to punch his best player. Like, but chill out, really. It's not that important. Just do the other stuff first. You'll still get to surf and punch his best player. Maybe just don't do that first, and then roll a dub skulls and complain that there was nothing you could have done. You were diced. No, you were shit. Like, just, chill out a bit. Start every turn the same way. Like you've seen me do it when I'm playing. I'm like, okay, he's just a stand. He's not doing anything. He's just a stand. Right, he's not doing anything, so he goes there. Like, you just move. You look around the players first, decide who's doing things and who aren't, and then you just move and end all of the players who aren't doing anything important. Like, it's really not that hard, and yet I would estimate well over 90% of players don't do it. Oh my days. That was a bunch of bad dice. That's never what you want, is it? Oh. Right, it's not, again, it's not the right thing. He's going to block the tree, but it's not the right turn ordering because that's a loner. He should be doing whatever he's doing with the other players first. These two are just standing there, right? So you shouldn't take the loner block. It's the exact same problem. What are we doing? Trying to surf again. Wait, what? Wait, what? We weren't gonna one dice surf him? We're just taking the POW? Okay. Oh, gets the sack, ball's on the floor. I hate that we didn't do the surf. All right. That does stabilize the drive. That was a pretty decent turn from Page there. guessing. That he still scores here. It doesn't seem that difficult to score. Oh, that'll help. Stopping, I mean. Oh my days. Well, okay. Just red dice double powered the tree. He's going to give him the ball and score, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. Didn't follow there either. I don't know what's happening. He's doing a dauntless block? And another one? Oh my god. That was absolute nonsense, but now he just gets to run it in. And he does, but he scored early. So now the chances of a Frankie win have gone way up. That is a 3-turn, I think, for Frankie. Another blitz. Jesus. Okay. He's killed his own fling. Should have done a rush to base the mighty blow tackle. Oh my days. What an incredible bounce. So he should have done a rush to base the mighty blow tackle there. Before he's done anything here, especially that pickup, he should have someone in scoring range. Why is there no one in scoring range right now? If he fails that pickup, he's got nobody in scoring range. Oh, okay. That was definitely a thing. So he is 15 squares away from scoring, with 16 squares of potential movement. Why? Look, this is classic banger overblocking, right? Obviously, he bases the catcher. Like, obviously. The catcher's in, like, regular scoring range with no rushes. There's absolutely no reason to have appoed that. There's no reason to appo anything at this point. That was real dubious. So, why are we doing that dodge? Can we do better than the dodge? Yeah, the auger can hit him. Oh, no, wait, that doesn't make him an assist. Hey, look, by the way, give the ball to the catcher. Okay, no, it's fine. I'm trying to... He can hit him. I don't know if he can hit him. Why isn't he against the sideline? And he can hit him. There's too many people who can hit him here. And the fling to the rescue. Wait, that's not... I was going to say that's not to the rescue. That's to the rescue. And that. Nope. I don't think that did anything. Weren't getting in scoring range, so... Okay. Right, hang on. Is there anything you can do here? The tree's not rooted. So why are we taking this block? Why are we taking this block? Like, I legit don't understand why we're taking that block. So we can dodge with him? The loner? He could do it. He's not a loner. I'm so confused. This isn't... What are we doing? What is the point of any of this? Okay. I mean, that was atrocious. I got no idea what the point of any of that was. Well, there we go. And he just loses. While Page is taking irrelevant blocks. That was bizarre. Like, literally bizarre. That was just utterly useless. Well, there we go. We're anticlimactic end to a mediocre game. But that means Page loses. Frankie goes on with a win. Page is going to find it a lot more difficult to qualify now. And Frankie finds it a lot easier. And I find it a lot more depressing. And we will see you in the next game.